My mother is a strong, determined, hard-working, intelligent woman. Her wisdom spans across galaxies. Her smile lights up the sun even brighter. And her hugs are like heaven. She is amazing. Unfortunately, my father didn't think she was that amazing because they got divorced when I was 10, and my father got custody of us. My siblings could acclimate to my father, but for me, you're like your mother. Sylvia, you're hard-headed. So when he would say things like this to me, I would translate it to loving things. So, Sylvia, you're hard-headed, and that would mean I was strong and determined. Sylvia, you're silly, and I would translate it to, Sylvia, you're just overly hardworking. Sylvia, you are stupid, and I would translate it to amazingly intelligent. Sylvia, you act just like your mother. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, because why wouldn't anybody want to be like her? She was awesome. So, through my life, I'd gone through relationships, grown up and gone through relationships, and my strong, hardworking, determined, and intelligence often attracted men like moth to a flame. And my hips, too. Unfortunately, these men would use my strong and determination powers to get themselves ahead while I received nothing and fell behind. They would use my hard-working skills to learn how to do stuff better while I would just have nothing and become weak. And they would use my intelligence to get where they needed to be, and I would just be left sucked dry. At 24, I became pregnant by one of these men with a little girl named Maggie. And I gave birth to her on the same date of my mom's birthday. So that meant a lot. And I was 24 when I gave birth to Maggie, and it was the same age my mom gave birth to me. So that means even more. That was the world, the universe telling me I was meant to be an awesome mom, just like my mom. She called me a week after, and I brought Maggie home, and she said, "How's it going? How's it going being a mom?" And I paused, and I said, "I need you." She flew down the day after Christmas, and you can imagine how much that plane ticket was. And for 1 week, she taught me how to be a mom, how to be just as amazing. She told me all the secrets, everything you needed to know to be a mom in 1 week. And she flew back with a confident daughter that knew how to raise this strong, intelligent, determined little baby girl. And I decided I could do anything, so I was going to give love one more chance. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and I told myself at that point that I would never let a man take from me my strong determination, hard-working skills, and intelligence ever again. No man deserved what I was given. And I would pour all my love and everything into my little girl, and I would raise her, and I would be this awesome, beautiful mom for her. And then 4 weeks later, they told me I was pregnant again. Well, when I got to the doctor and they told me that, and they said, well, it's gonna be a boy. And things wasn't so awesome anymore, because I came to the realization that for the next 18 years, I would have to give this man my awesomeness. I would have to give, and he would take and never give anything back to me. And it wasn't fair because I was awesome and he did not deserve what I was giving because he would do like all the rest and treat me like the tissue on the bottom of their shoe. Now, I was born Christian, so I couldn't get an abortion. It was not in my mentality to do it. But that night, when I got home, I asked God if he could take this away from me, if he could make it go away, I could do whatever he wanted me to do. If he would just not give me this boy, not let him live, please, please, please. I gained 1 pound in 5 months. And they ran a lot of tests, and they were worried. And I came in on my 5th-month appointment, and they said, Miss Hubbard, we have some bad news. And I said, what? Because I thought they was going to tell me it was a girl. And they said, well, unfortunately, we don't think the baby is going to live. How was that bad news? This is what I wanted. Now I wouldn't have to give him anything. He had answered my prayers. And I was so happy. The bitterness that was in my heart and in my soul, it just, in that instant, it just flew away. The weight that was on my shoulders, because for 5 months I had just been hunched over in my soul because of the burden I knew I would have to bear giving to this male. And it just went away. And I think I was a little bit too happy for the doctor because he was like, wait a minute. I was like, well, let's go ahead and go on the surgery. We can do a medical abortion. And that's fine. That's fine with me because now I have an excuse. And he was like, well, you know, go tonight, sleep on it, don't eat, and tomorrow we'll have you 5 a.m. for surgery. I went out there just dancing. I haven't danced in 5 months and I was feeling good. I could stretch and bend and it just felt good just knowing I would not be having this child because he did not deserve me. That night I had a dream. And Maggie was sitting beside me in this black dress, and I had black on. And in front of us was this small coffin. I'd never seen a coffin so small. And Maggie put her arm up and she said, "Who dat, Mama?" And I walked up to the coffin and I looked down. And I saw the biggest brown eyes and this unibrow. So fiery, and these big, luscious lips of this baby boy looking up at me. And at that moment, I knew he was giving what no man had ever given to me. My son was dying for me to prove how much he loved me. And I woke up and I was so sick and I threw up over and over and over again, and I crawled and begged and I said, I'm sorry, God. And if you let him live so I could just tell him I'm sorry. And I didn't go to my appointment the next morning. And they called and said she's not going to do well. They were calling my dad and they were saying she's got to come in because her health could be failing. everything's gonna go wrong, and if the baby even makes it out the womb, he's gonna have tubes down his throat. He'd not be able to make it to a mentality of 2 years old. He would never walk and talk, and he would never be able to even wipe his own butt. He was gonna be blind and deaf. I didn't care. Because he was my seraphim. He was an angel that had come to me to guide me to where I needed to be in love. And I went on my 7th month, but I was so scared because I thought they would still take my baby away from me. And they scolded. They said, you should have came in. You should have came in. And I told them, I was like, you can't take my baby. Well, you know you might die. It could hurt you too. I don't care. I don't care. This is mine. This is mine. I have to say I'm sorry. And they did the test and he wouldn't move. But I had gained 30 pounds in 1 month. And then on the day when I went into labor, I remember it perfectly. And we were in the hospital, and my sister raised my leg out, and he shot out. And I reached down. I said, I gotta see him. I gotta see him. I gotta see those eyes. I gotta see those eyes. And I pushed again and pulled him up into my arms. And he had the biggest brown eyes and the unibrow fury and the biggest pink lips. And he knew who I was. He knew I was Mama, and first words I said to him was, I'm sorry. 2 hours later, they tried to wrench him from me, and I continued to hold all 10.5 pounds and 2 pushes out. It is on record. And he had all 5 fingers and toes, and he was perfectly healthy. My baby boy, my Zachariah Seraphim, my king of angels. And he was mine, and I was gonna be the best mother in the whole world. 17 years later, my boy is strong and healthy, and he thinks I am the best mom in the world. And every day he rewards me by being there for me, by knowing me, by just looking at me. And those big brown eyes tell me that I am strong, I am hardworking, I am determined, and I am intelligent. And he is my love. Thank you.